Okay, so I really like this one. First of all, this is the picture where the protagonist looks on the painting of the ceiling, and the painting shows descending angels. So that's the name of the picture here. First of all, I was doing sketches, like normally pen and paper or pencil and paper, and I picked an angel covered with armor on a chariot, and having like two horses in front of it, and it's descending from the sky. So the aim was to make it look like those horses are not on the ground; they are kind of floating. So or on a cloud, but not heavy ground, you know. And I started doing these rough outlines. Um, yeah, you have to know, as I already told in the previous videos, about the anatomy. So here you saw the arm was a little bit too long. The biceps would look like completely unnatural, so I shortened the arm a bit. You should know where the biceps joints on your shoulder, and how to draw a hand. And again, you will have to pick also a light source to make the right lighting, the right form. And I regarding the wings, I kind of decided to make like a mixture of like wings of a bird, but they kind of starred like metallic, so they kind of merge into this armor the angel is wearing. Since the whole beginning of the short story still has this dark theme, I didn't show the angel's face. It was also covered in shadow, which gives it this mystic look. Yeah, right now I am laying out the basic color of the horses. Just intensifying a little bit the shadow, the pitch black shadow, the contours, the outline of the horse. And doing the same thing with the chariot. And the lines of the anatomy of the biceps was a little bit too thin, so I intensified it because all the rest of the outlines were a little bit thicker. Adding some like the manes of the horses, which should be like really wavy because the wind is going through the hair. And yeah, you also need to understand the anatomy of a horse. I mean, like you have these round muscles that they are cheeks. But right, what I'm doing right now is the wheel of the chariot, and you can use the basic circular forms to make this really nice 3D impression. And if you make this elliptic shape, depending on from where you're looking at, you have to tilt the angle of this ellipse. If it is like the highest point is up, this time I tilted it a little bit to the right because I'm not completely like from the front looking at it, but from some sort of tilted angle. Okay, so I decided that the light source is coming from the top left corner here, and that's why the wings on the left side are a little bit brighter than when they turn this round shape, and like the lower surfaces, they don't get much light. The armor again, the armor resembles the muscles underneath, and therefore you also get the reflected lights in a certain way. Yeah, just adding some details to the leash, finishing the spare, and I try to figure out which is the nicest way to make the cloud. I just in the end decided to go for a simple way. The shadow of the horse is on that cloud, playing a little bit with the lightings. And now I am changing to the landscape. The landscape, you see, like you have two light sources in this picture. Which one, like the one is which is under the cloud, and the one which is over the cloud. Over the cloud, it's like this diffuse light from the top left corner. And in this painting, you also have the moon and the sun, where these figures are pointing at, and I put them in the middle of the picture. That's why the ground floor has this brighter color, and on the sides it's getting darker. Here and right now I'm painting the woman, and in fact, in the end, I didn't like how she was standing there. It was like way too erotic for me, so I changed the picture a bit, the posture of this person to not distract the viewer too much. Here you can see it, that I changed it, tilted a little bit the waist, and added, like, painted the feet. And as you can see, like this figure is a little bit too much leaning to the left, so I had to turn it a little bit, so it basically, yeah, right now looks standing straight. And now I'm doing the sun as one light source, playing around with the shapes, but in the end I decided to go just for a circular one, and directly next to it the moon, which is also causing for light. This is the plant standing next to the woman, according to the story as well. And right now, since the source of light is coming from the back and the front, same to that old guy picture in the beginning, in the center, or you have the dark shapes in the front. And adding some more shadows and details to the ground, and there are stones on the ground which are also casting a shadow towards the viewer, and this is what I did here. Yeah, and this is like adding the frame, because it's the painting on the ceiling, which I just figured in the old way of painting them is always painting it with a frame, adding some more details to the frame. And it's descending angels, so I added some more angels, and I always was picking like a different position of the angel to make it look like a swarm of birds flying around, and like every single angel has its own dynamic posture, and I think I did a quite good job on that. And that's basically the illustration for that scene.